everyone and welcome to my art channel. I'm Sonia and today I'm going to be showing you my process of making this still life loose floral design here, and this is made with collage elements from some old artwork and also using very loose acrylic paint with a palette knife and with a brush. And I think it turned out quite well, and if you'd like to see how I made it, here we go. So I started off with the background, just squirting on some different colour acrylic paints straight onto the paper. And this is a really fun way to do it. Added some white, some turquoise, pink, some sap green, I think that was. And then I just get a really big paintbrush and I just smear it all in with a little tiny bit of water. Make sure the paper is fully covered, and I don't go over it too much. Don't overwork it. Just get it all smoothed out and it should look something like this. Then I decided to cut out some of my collage pieces. This is from an old piece of artwork I did with a jelly plate. I had all different jelly plate patterns, and I made some artwork a long time ago, many years ago, and decided that I no longer needed these art pieces, so I wanted to reuse them. So here I am cutting out some what's going to be some flowers and some leaves as my elements in my new illustration. And this is so much fun to do. And this is going to be, like I said, a very loose painting. And at this stage, I have no idea what this is going to turn out like. I don't really have a pre-vision or anything like that. I'm just going with my gut. And I'm just playing and having fun. So it's like Saturday morning. My husband is at work. So yeah, I've got all the time in the world at the moment to just play and have my cup of tea and just really just play and be on a voyage of discovery. That's what I like to call it. So yeah, just cutting out some more elements here. And then what I will do is I'll put them together in a way, but I will show you coming up that first I actually start with a bit of acrylic painting on my paper. Once that background is totally dry, that's when I come back in again with my acrylic paint, and then I actually start painting some acrylic flowers on the background. So it'll be a mix of acrylic painted flowers that I've done now and some collage elements from some old acrylic painted flowers from the jelly plate. So this is, I'm trying to move my page every so often, make sure it's in the viewer there. But I'm just using a palette knife here with a couple of different tones of like a nice purple, and just making a very loose flower. When I make my flowers, I don't really have a specific flower in mind. I just do a general flower shape, you know, and it can be anything from a circle to a half circle. You can have like little sections of petals showing, or maybe not. You could do daisies, roses, chrysanthemums, can't say that word too well, dahlias, whatever you like. So just really stay loose, don't get hung up on any of the details. So this one here, I'm thinking this is sort of like a rose. And then washing off my palette knife, going back in with some more deeper, darker red here, and trying to keep my paint quite thick and what I call nice and gloopy. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Sorry, but I'm not very used to, like, I've done voiceovers before, but it's hard when I can't remember what's coming next because I filmed this a little while ago. I think I'm mixing up some greens perhaps here. Oh no, it looks like I'm mixing up some pink to do a pink flower. Yep, it's going to be a pink flower, sort of similar to the purple one you see in the left-hand corner. So at this stage, I'm trying to keep in mind what colours my collage pieces actually were. So even though I'm not doing the exact same colours, I'm kind of going with colours that will either go with those collage pieces or have the colours of those collage pieces in them. Okay, so now it looks like I'm going in with the green and I'm just doing what is the start of some leaves in this. So some very rough leaf shapes. And you can see I've got two or three different greens in my palette there. I've got a lighter yellower green and a darker green. At this moment, I'm not too worried about what green is where because I will adjust this a little bit at the end. But I just want to get the shapes of some leaves in there. Going back in with some red and doing some, I'm not sure what they're called on flowers, I should look that up, but I guess it's little dot bits on the stamen of the flowers. I think that's my favourite part of painting flowers, is when you see the little stamens coming out. Now I'm going straight onto my paper here with my white paint, and with my palette knife I'm going to scratch out a flower. So it's like a daisy type flower, I guess. And this is one of my favourite techniques, is just, you know, putting the paint straight onto the paper and working straight from that. And then I decide to do a second one. And I love white flowers in your painting because they really catch your eye. I guess because of the tone difference to the other colours. So yeah, again, I've got, you know, no preconceived ideas of what this is going to end up looking like. So it's my way of staying loose and playful, is not having a finished idea in mind and just going with the flow, and just wherever I decide to do a flower, that's where I paint a flower. So I think it's now at this stage that I'm going to pick up my collage elements and start pasting them down so that I can get an idea now of how and where things are going to go. So you'll see that I try a few different spots first before I actually glue anything. And this is a good way of doing it, because then it's nothing set in, you know, set in steel or cement. What's that saying? Set in stone. That's the one. Oh dear. Yeah, nothing set in stone straight away. So don't go straight into your glue. Just, you know, move things around a bit, and then when you're happy with it, then glue it down. So I'm just using a Mod Podge with this. I've got several different Mod Podges. This one is actually a dishwasher safe one, which I've been trying to use up, but I've got no need of it. But it still works like any other Mod Podge. It's sticky and it does the trick. So you can see the back of my different artwork on the back side there. There's going in my daisy. And it's not even a full daisy. I've had to cut it out into that shape, but that's fine because I'm going to put another collage piece element slightly over the top of it. Just make sure you get all the little edges. Normally I do this flat on a surface, but I've just got so much stuff on my desk at the moment. It's so messy that I had nowhere to actually lay it down while I put the glue the glue on the piece. So yep, just sticking that down, going over with my brush slightly. Then I managed to get a bit of purple paint onto my flower here, which I'm then trying to get off. Okay. Okay, so this is a leaf. So I'm just figuring out where in my composition that I want this, where it looks best. I really like the difference in tone in the leaf as well. You can see it's a lot darker than some of the other colours. And that's really important when you're making your artwork, that you're checking your that you've got varying different tones in your artwork. So in other words, you have lights and darks and colours in the middle of those lights and dark tones. So if you didn't want to use a jelly plate to make these collage pieces like I did many years ago, what you could also do is just get acrylic paint and some scrap paper and just paint different colours onto pieces of paper. You could use stamps. You could use items to make textures like sponges or scourers or rollers, or even like you could use paper clips, anything like that to make patterns. So be creative in the way you make your collage papers. It doesn't have to be hard at all. You could try using different types of paper perhaps that you're using. Like tissue papers or recycled papers, handmade papers you could also use. You could use old wallpaper, things like that. So be really creative. Or you could just, like I did, use a jelly plate, and I think I used a jelly plate and some homemade stamps that I made of actual flowers. And that's how I got these collage pieces. But basically you could use anything. Like I said, you could just use coloured paper that you had originally painted or old artwork and cut that up into flower shapes. So now here I've ready to put my my pot in. So I decided to do this in a pinky red to go with some of my flowers there, and I'm just putting in my the start of my shadows and my darks there. And now I'm coming in with a couple of different greens, and I'm just starting to put a few of my stems into place. And again, I'm being very loose, not being real precious about anything, because this whole painting, I want it to all feel very expressive and loose. So at this stage, I don't want to get tight by doing very neat stems and neat leaves on there. I want to stay loose and free. And again, just looking at some different tones, just putting some different greens in here. Adding more leaves. Again, not putting too much thought into where everything has to go, just being really freestyle and intuitive. Coming in with some lighter shades on my leaves. You see I've got like a yellowy green there as well. I keep adding to this throughout the painting, I believe. Like I said, it was a little while that I did this, so I'm trying to think. I think, yeah, I just came back in with some lighter greens and I just kept working on a few different tones of those as I went along. I've also got some more work on the pot to do. Okay, just now seeing that I need some more collage elements in this. So I'm really loving this piece because it goes with my two flowers that I painted, the yellow rose and the reddy pink flower. It kind of, like, that's the only thing that I sort of pre-watched, was that like I said, I had those colours in mind because of my collage pieces. So now you can see that that is going really well together. And just making sure everything's stuck down really well. And I'm going to put another one of these down so that I've got two of the same colour. There we go. Kind of like tulips, I guess. A little bit like a tulip. And I had this leaf left over, but I realised that the size and the colour of it didn't really go, so I disregarded that one. Coming back in here with some more greens, perhaps defining some things a bit more. Okay, so now I believe I'm going to get my palette knife. And I think I'm going to go over this pot some more. Actually, no, I decided to put in my tablecloth, and again just went with a palette knife. And I did this thinly. You probably can't actually tell on the camera how thinly I did it, but I liked seeing a bit of the underpainting showing through. So I just did a thin layer. Just trying to get rid of these white edges here. Oh, sorry, the greenish edges from underneath. And adding a bit of that blue into the shadow of my pot, just so that it's all a bit cohesive looking. And you can see I added a tiny little bit of that red from the pot into the blue as well. It just helps everything sort of work together. So now I'm going to work straight from my white tube of paint straight onto the palette knife, and I'm doing some really rough strokes of paint here, just to kind of be like a checkered tablecloth. So just scraping it down just in one single scrape. Very nice and loose. And this is so much fun to do. There you go. that part's all done. Now I'm also going to use some of that white to put in the highlights and the light side of my pot. Again, very loose brush strokes, not overworking it. Sort of getting in, getting out, I guess, is the technique. So there's a close-up of it so far. So now it's just time to put some little bit finer details into the painting. I've added some collage elements here. I think I'm going to call them mandarin slices. And you can see I've added a few more flowers in there. And now I'm just going in, doing some more of those little stamen, little dots there. And it's these little details that really make your painting pop. Adding in some dark shadows in here. And this is actually black paint, but against the, I've got some dark Hooker's green in there, and it's really making it look sort of just like a dark green instead of, you know, a really dark black, which is good. I'm going to add some more shadow into my pot here. So just went in with a darker reddy colour. And adding some to the bottom and a little bit at the side of the pot here for shadows. And I think we're just about there. Yep, that's it. This is the final picture here. I hope you've enjoyed watching my process. I hope it inspires you to create a painting of your own today and experiment, play, have fun, and stay loose and just enjoy the process. And if you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear any comments from you. I always reply to all comments. And have a great day, and please subscribe. Bye for now.